Hey, football season is here, and here is the truth. Being benched hurts because you've got dreams, you've got calling, you got a passion, and instead of playing, you're watching, you're waiting. You might even be wondering if God has even forgotten your jersey number. But Scripture tells us that sidelines are not wasted space. That is where the faith grows, the identity is refined, and preparation meets obedience. Today, we're going to be digging into why your season on the bench might just be the most important training ground of all. Got it.
I was never
Bill,
I was never a football player. Well, I was a football player. I was.
yeah,
In high school, my junior year, I scored 108 points in 8 games. That's two and a half.
wow,
That's 2.5 touchdowns a game. What you don't
that's
know,
impressive.
yeah, I know, but what you don't know was that it was 6-man intramural.
Hey,
Yeah,
still a lot of points. I never played organized football, but played a lot of pickup games and played with a lot of the football players from high school. Just was friends with all of them or most of them, and we'd play football on Sunday afternoons and things like that. So I always kind of regretted a little bit not actually playing organized football, um, but but my favorite season is upon us, Bill.
oh, I
You
love
know,
it.
some people say they love spring, they love fall, they love summer. I love football season.
I love football season, but here's the difference. You love college football, and
No,
I love the pros. I am a Broncos fan through and through.
you
But
are.
here's the problem, okay? Uh, just think about this in a football sense. We equate purpose with constant performance. And when
True.
we're not in the game, as it were, we feel forgotten or frustrated or like we're missing our moment. It's kind of like Uncle Rico. If I was only in the game, we would have won the state championship. If I was only in the game, we would have done this. And he throws stakes at kids on bikes and he's living in the past. But that's another story. Uh, the sidelines feels like punishment, not preparation. That's the problem. And you may feel like you're just, God, I'm here. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. It's been a while. Still waiting,
So
Lord.
yeah, so I mean, so and it can become almost like unmotivated then, right? Because like I've worked hard, I practiced all preseason with everybody else, but now that it's time where like it actually now matters, I don't get to do anything.
Yeah, you get to
It
watch.
almost it could almost feel demoralizing, right?
Yeah, and in the pros, the coaches make you feel you're the backup, so they give you a headphone so that you can kind of stay in the game.
Yeah.
And so you can hear the plays and stuff, and but you're not playing. You're not getting the ball. You're just hearing everything that's going on, but you're not playing. But as Christians, let's be real here. As Christians, you're always playing. You should never feel like you're on the sidelines. But yet, a lot of times you're thinking, I'm preparing for something big, and I'm still waiting, still hanging around.
Waiting, still waiting. I know something big's coming, but I
Yeah.
don't know when.
So
But I think even as Christians, we can kind of fall down that same path as athletes do, right? It's like, well, I feel like I've been doing all the right things, and still nothing has happened. So, and then it's easy to fall into the trap of, well, I don't need to read my Bible today. I don't need to go to church this week. I don't need to spend time in prayer today. And then you don't do it one day, and then all of a sudden one turns to two, two turns to three, and next thing you know, you're kind of out of it, right? And then when
right,
God's ready to call you, you're like, oh, I'm not ready.
yeah. So here's the
Here's
promise.
a perfect example.
Yeah, here's the promise. All right, and then you just jump right in. Here's the promise. What feels like a delay may divine. What feels like a delay. That was a delay. What feels like a delay may be divine development. The sidelines aren't a step back; they're a spiritual strategy, so to speak. And
I
here's
like
and,
that.
and here's a great example, Jamie.
Well, I'm gonna let you tell it because you're much more into the pro football than I am. But there is Brock Purdy
Mr. Irrelevant.
in the 2022 NFL season playing for the San Francisco 49ers has this just incredible run. I'm going to let you kind of tell the story, though, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Purdy was drafted last, but he was drafted. That's kind of he wasn't an undrafted free agent. He was drafted last, and that gets the dubious title of "You're irrelevant. You're Mr. Irrelevant." And yet he made the team he made the team with the 49ers as Mr. Irrelevant, and I believe he was the third string quarterback. He was behind two other quarterbacks, and they both went down in injury. And all of a sudden, they have to play their third string, Mr. Irrelevant quarterback, who's been sitting on the sideline. Go ahead.
And let me insert something right here. So think about it as like from the coach's perspective, from the team's perspective, from the fans' perspective, as like we're down to our third string quarterback, season's lost. Like, we hope he does well, but we have really no expectation.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening then?
Well, I mean, both starters are down, they're injured, and they have to play him. And third stringer, Brock Purdy, is up, and he won. I mean, as a team, he stepped in as quarterback, played the best football that he's ever played in his life. They won 5 straight games, leading the team to the playoffs. Right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
just blew everybody's mind. Mr. Irrelevant, 5. He started off his career as a starter in the NFL. 5 straight wins, got them into the playoffs, and he's been the starter ever since. So
Well, here's what I think the cameras miss though, right? Is that there is a grind to the waiting. There's there is a grind to being disciplined enough and like that mental game that has to go inside of his head saying, I'm not going to take the field today. I know I'm not going to play. But there was a statement that Brock Purdy made later on is that he said, I prepared every single week as though I was starting, even though I knew I wasn't.
I like
Like
that. I like
I
that.
think that'll preach every day, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's every Sunday type of a thing. You prepare.
Yep.
You prepare like you're going to start. But here's the thing. In his mind, he knows I'm third string. I'm not starting, but I'm going to prepare like I'm going to prepare like I'm ready to start.
Yep.
I'm
So
going.
what ends up happening is through that discipline and the patience and being willing to ride the bench when his time came, he was able to shine. Even though probably expectations from every single fan, coach, co-player, teammates, all of them were like, well, Purdy's coming in, season's lost. But he was ready to go, and then obviously take them to the playoffs. So what's some of the lessons that we're talking about here, Bill?
Well, I believe in when we live to honor Christ. There's no such thing as sidelines.
Mm,
However, when you're how do I say this? Uh, when you're preparing, you're always preparing like you're going to play. Just kind of like Brock Purdy. The sidelines are a sacred space. You're not under the pressure of making the big plays, of running the offense. You're not under the pressure of that. But you're always it's a sacred space that you just can't take lightly. It's where identity is being refined without the
mm,
applause. The eyes are not on you, and a lot of times, the greatest warriors of the Christian faith are never known because they see the sidelines as a sacred space. This is where I prepare. This is where I pray. This is where I give. And
yeah, and I think tying right in with that is this kind of this, I don't know, concept of preparation is more about the obedience, and not so much about I'm preparing to Like I know I'm gonna play.
Hmm.
I'm just preparing because it's what I'm supposed to do. Like I don't prepare because I know for sure I'll be called into the game. I prepare just because that's what God tells me to do. That just it's what faith does,
Yeah,
right? I prepare because of my faith.
right. Sometimes we get bored of preparing.
I know that feeling.
I'm just, I've thrown so many passes in practice. It's unreal. I've been throwing passes I've been throwing stuff my whole life. I want to play. I want to be the starter, but guess what? I'm not, but I'm going to be ready when it is time.
Mhm.
I'm going to be ready when it's time for me to actually play. The Broncos this year, yes, the Broncos. I'm going to bring up the Broncos. The Broncos this year uh, have a backup quarterback. His, his name is Jared Stidham. He's never really been a starter in the NFL. Had some shots, but never really been a starter. I forget how long he's been in the NFL, but he's our backup. And he's had the best preseason as a backup quarterback as anybody could ever have. His stats with second and third team are better than some of the starters in their preseason
Wow.
on other teams. I mean, and he knows he's not going to play unless our starting quarterback gets hurt,
Sure.
which we hope. We don't want anybody to get hurt for that matter. But he's playing.
You know,
He's playing like it's my time to play. I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm doing my
yeah.
best. So,
Well, and you kind of bring that into the faith arena, and that is like God's never going to waste your training.
oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, so keep training.
Yeah, yeah.
So what scripture comes to mind, Bill?
Oh, uh, Galatians 6 and 9 just came off the top of my head and my notes. Uh, Galatians 6 and 9 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up."
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what all of this episode is about, right?
Mm,
Whether we're talking about it from a football perspective, like just keep grinding and doing the work, and your time will come. And if we're talking about it in the faith arena, it's like just don't get weary. Just keep doing the things you know you're supposed to be doing, and at the right time, when God's ready, he's gonna use all of that.
right, right. So let's three questions to ask yourself. First one is, where in your life do you feel benched right now? You feel like you want to be in the game, you want to be doing whether it's at work or whether it's in family or whatever it is, you just feel like you've been benched.
Yeah, it's a good question, and we all feel that way in certain parts of our life
Right,
at certain seasons of our life for sure. So I
right,
think it's a good to kind of just think that through. I think another really good question is what would preparation look like even if no one's ever going to see it? Like, what do you need to be doing on the sidelines and in practice when the cameras aren't on and nobody's watching? What should you still be doing to be prepared for that area in which you feel like you've been benched? But what if you get called today? If you got called today and you're not ready, then what happens?
yeah, yeah. So preparation is private,
Hmm, I like that.
and yeah. So one more question, a third question you can ask yourself: what might God be strengthening in your silence and your stillness?
Mhm. I think
Like
all three of those questions just go really hand in hand with one another, don't they?
they do. They do. And don't take it for granted. Sure, you may feel like you're on the sidelines, but God always knows that you're always in the game. He's preparing you for whatever it is he's got for you down the road. He's preparing you. You're not on the sidelines. You're always in the game.
Hmm, I like that. I think that is like a great place to wrap this up.
Okay, you're not on the sidelines. You're always in the game. No matter what it feels like, always be prepared. I'm Bill.
That is Bill, and I'm Jamie.
Hey, I pointed the right way, and that's Jamie.